What's up, everybody? Seth Miranda here. This is Adorama Rewind, coming to you yet again from my home Twitch setup here in Brooklyn, because here at Adorama, we are all about the hashtag create no matter what. We hope you are as well. We've actually been watching people use the hashtag so we can keep up on what we're all creating out there, what we're sharing, what we're doing, all sorts of things, keeping each other inspired, motivated going forward. I know we're all stuck at home, we're isolated, but this is a great way to share your work, share your point of view, share what you're doing, share what you want to be doing, and just keeping in touch with other creatives to keep each other bouncing ideas and motivation off each other. I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself all the time, but we've actually been watching this hashtag. Let's go over to the monitor. Thousands of people just putting up tons of work with the hashtag so they can share their portrait work, whatever else they're doing out there. Celtis right here, who does takeovers on our Twitch channel, which is awesome. She does live digital illustration. Lots of amazing work out there. We're so psyched. And just so you're aware, stay tuned to Adorama's Facebook around 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There will be live streams going on virtually every day, and we're probably going to go over a lot of the work we're seeing out there. So use the hashtag. Make sure you tag Adorama in as well so we can find your work out there and we can kind of keep connected, keep the community strong and tight. All right, let's get into the news for this week, so to speak. Last week, I found some deals for you guys on software and things, mainly Adobe. But yeah, there's other deals out there, so I found some more for you. So if you're trying to save some money because you still need to get work done but don't want to pay for all the subscriptions that add up pretty quickly, I mean, let's be honest, right? You can check out Affinity Suite right here. It is not only a 90-day free trial, but also 50% discount if you want to own the apps, including the iPad versions of them. So check that out if you're looking to save some money. It looks like it's about 25 bucks, which is 50% off, and also the 90-day free trial, which might hold you over during these hard times to get through the work you got to do from home or the projects you've been waiting to focus on. Now you have the time, but you didn't have the means. Well, now you have the software to be a little more accessible to you and affordable. So be sure to check that out, but it doesn't just stop there. It looks like Final Cut 10, boom, 90 days free. If you need 3 months of the editing software for free, you can get it. And not only that, but from what I understand, they're also rolling back the clock on people who are already in the middle of a free trial, so you can reset the clock, that we have access to this for 3 months to get some work done during this tough time. And we all know how that is. Keeping up with more of a positive thing section here, F-Stopper has put this out, which I think is important. Here's a list of financial resources available to photographers during the COVID-19 crisis. So pretty much what it gives you is places to get grants, loans, all sorts of things to help you financially if you're creative. Check out that link down below. It's super important to keep up on these things. Sometimes you didn't even know these things existed, right? So take a look at it now. So even after this is over, you're able to have these resources and look for more of them going forward. But if you're having a hard time right now, which is a lot of freelancers are, we're not trying to hide that. This is a really good resource for you to check out. The link is down below. Please take a look. I think it's really, really worth it. Also, it could spin off into finding more things like this, or maybe ways to fund projects that you have the time to do now, but no resources to do them. This might be the way to do it. So check out that link. Sony is saying that they aren't seeing a lot of impact to their sensor production, which is a big deal because Sony sensors are over half of the world's sensors actually are Sony. So it's like she sells seashells by the seashore. Jesus Christ. So pretty much even your iPhone, things like that have a Sony sensor in them. So this means pretty much that the sensors can still be produced. The problem that they're having is the rest of the cameras for development. So for production rather. So what I think is actually happening here is you can get the sensors, maybe companies that are using Sony sensors in their products can still do some R&D, maybe at a slower pace because there's so many factories that are offline right now. But the rest of the camera for Sony themselves, like the DRAM, the chips for the processor, stuff like that, are hard to come by. Therefore, they're not able to really launch any new product or go into mass production on a lot of things. So that's where the slowdown happens. But at least the sensors are able to be built. Therefore, whatever we are able to produce right now can be produced. So that's actually a positive, believe it or not. Let's talk about the fact that one of their biggest investors is trying to get them to spin off the sensor division into their own business. So pretty much what's happening is that the stock has been dropping because of what's been going on. And this one investor feels that The sensor division should be its own business, separate from the big umbrella that Sony is. And Sony themselves, the whole corporation, is basically like, no, we don't want to do that. It's stronger as a whole. He's saying that the sensor division is being underappreciated because it's not standing on its own by itself. It's under this umbrella being hidden away. That shouldn't really affect the consumer too much if this happens, but it is a big deal that this is something that they're thinking of doing, or that one guy is buying up stock to influence a company to do this. Right? That's kind of nuts. The one thing that he has been pushing for is that he's been trying to get the money from the Sony camera division to funnel into the Sony entertainment division. So that, I'm wondering if it'll impact our industry or whatever. Let me know down below what you think about that. It's kind of crazy, but that's kind of the world we're living in right now. I want to get off of this kind of grim news for the industry, but get you into something that's a little more inspiring. I keep looking over here because I have this monitor over here. I know I'm in a different format. I'm like all over the place. I'm sorry about that. So the Military Visual Awards from 2019 announced their winners. So check this out. If you haven't seen this, there's some amazing images in here, some incredible work, amazing moments, definitely some incredible documentation of what's going on out there, not to mention some more artistic views. But I mean, look at these images, they're just stunning. And these are from the point of view of people who are right there next to what's going on out there. So check this out, especially the illustrative is pretty interesting to see the creativity that's going on top of this. But the documentative, the pictorials and the documentation stuff is really interesting. Just check that out. It's pretty awesome to go through that kind of stuff and see what's going on out there, and in a beautiful way, right? Don't get discouraged, you know, appreciate the realism of it, and also just absorb the creative and just beauty of the imagery itself, how well done it is, okay? Let's go over to Canon though for a second. So Canon is aware that the 1DX Mark III has had an issue with the firmware where some users are getting a mirror lockup in some rare cases with some specific settings set all at the same time. They didn't realize that. They do now. A firmware fix is coming for it. They did just confirm that, but they did give you guys a workaround if you are having this issue. Go to the use the high setting for the electronic level in the viewfinder display. And once you do that, it should take away the confusion the camera's having, which is causing the lockup. So check out the link below if you have a 1DX Mark III with this issue, but I'm pretty sure if you have that camera, the first time it happened, you went right over to Google and looked for an answer. But Canon is aware of it. There is a firmware update coming out within the next couple weeks, so be on the look for that and update those cameras. And some other Canon news, unfortunately, it appears that they're gonna be closing down some repair service facilities, just like Nikon did. This is no surprise. They're going to close them down in California, New Jersey, Illinois, and Hawaii until further notice. Not a big surprise, right? They're trying to socially distance all their employees, keep people safe, and the best way to do that is just have them not congregate in the same area like a repair facility. So no shock there. I'm pretty sure all camera manufacturers are pretty much going to go through this. If not, every sort of manufacturer out there will probably be going through something like this. They will be coming back online. They just don't know when, because no one in this world knows what's happening right now. But hold tight. If you need a repair, it's rough right now, and you shouldn't be too shocked about that. But maybe now's the time to look for some backup gear, like used gear that someone else is trying to sell because they're having a hard time right now. Things like that. Let's get this going in an upswing though, okay? Pentax, yeah, Pentax has announced a new lens, and it's apparently amazing. So an 85mm f1.4 for their premium FA Star line. So this is for the full frame. This is what they're considering a lens that's without compromise, which we've heard a lot of other manufacturers say that. So they spared no expense to make it the best lens that they could. The 50mm from this line is actually at a cost of $1,100. You can see right here. So I'm pretty sure this one's going to cost a pretty penny as well, but it's cool to see that Pentax users are able to get some premium gear coming out for their systems if they need it, okay? Rogue came out with a new version of the Flash Bender. If you don't know what the Flash Bender is, it's awesome. I'm a big fan of it. I've used it in every kit ever probably, and it's one of the few modifiers that fits the A1 from Profoto as well. So check this out. They actually changed a couple things about it. One, they made the flexibility more stable on it, and they changed the way it mounts. So instead of just a Velcro right here, it's actually got a buckle. You can actually see right here. Actually, I should have scrolled down. So it's a buckle instead of the Velcro. I'm not sure what the advantage there is, but they must have done it for some reason. They are saying it adds a little bit of weight, but the Flash Bender's been great. You can morph it into a strip light with some speed lights. That's like amazing, especially have that much control with the grid on there. Not to mention it'll make a giant bounce in whatever shape you need it to be in, a snoot, as well as there is a diffuser you can put over it that creates like pretty much an interesting little softbox, and it takes down the hotspot with a double diffusion right there. So check that out if you're a speedlight shooter like me. You would really appreciate the flash bender. My favorite part about it is it's one of those modifiers you can just crush down, flatten it, and put into a bag. It always fits no matter what. It's just crazy. So let's talk about some filter systems that came out for APS-C. Two actually came out on the market. One is from Nisi, which is specifically for the X100V, a little tiny drop-in filter system. So you can actually have your gradated filters or your, I think it's up to 3-stop. Yeah, 3-stop graduated, 3-stop ND filter, and a natural light filter, which is pretty cool. So if you're someone like me that likes the X100 series and wanted to have something as far as a filter system that for gradated skies and things like that, you have it right there. And let's just jump right over to the Lee filter system, which was made for APS-C. This is the Lee 85 system, which is made for the bigger cameras, but it's another style of drop-in with the locking dial and all sorts of stuff. So check that out if you're someone that's been looking for some sort of drop-in filter style setup for your APS-C camera. That might be something you're interested in. I wanted to pull up that the Supreme Court in a landmark case here has basically said that states can't be sued for copyright infringement, and basically saying that they can use images and not be sued for them. So what am I talking about here? So let's say there's like a tourism division of the government and they use a picture you took of a landscape and they put it in for their media to get people to come to the city or whatever. They can't be sued for using your image. That's basically what that means, sovereign immunity. However, if they were to put it into, let's say, a brochure and the third party who printed that thing, they could probably be liable. So that's where it's getting a little gray area for me. I'm going to put the link down below. Let me know what you think about this. I know it's kind of crazy. It sounds a little there have been cases of photographers going after states for using their images, like of national parks or whatever. But there's a ton of cases like this, and now they've actually ruled that they can use it without being sued. And we should stay up on stuff like that as photographers to know our rights, what we are entitled to, how to protect ourselves, all sorts of things like that. So be sure to check out that link, read thoroughly, and maybe even do some research in some other cases if you have some copyright inquiries. There was also a video on Adorama TV that David Bergman just did on copyright, so you can check that out as well. Speaking of our own media, don't forget to check out the Adorama blog, 42 West. Yep, it's right there. Adorama.com/ALC will take you right there. Lots of stuff, some new stuff on the new Flashpoint light, not to mention some episodes from our series Through the Lens that you can check out since you have some time right now. There's top ways that some creators are keeping sane during all of this, ways for you to work effectively from home, all sorts of things and resources there. It's pretty endless, and this is like years and years and years of resource, 10 best instant cameras, all sorts of stuff that's going on right now. And you can check out some older articles that might pertain to some things you're dealing with now, because I know we get distracted while working and we put some things off that we want to get into or find out information on. Well, now's the time to research it, right? On top of that, remember I told you about that hashtag create no matter what? Well, check out the landing page for it as well. So you can check out all these videos, all these resources, all these articles to help you keep inspired, keep going forward, use what you have around you, try to come up with concepts, try to stay in touch with other creators out there. So don't forget to check out this link down below. It's going to be sitting there for you. I have a whole lot of stuff for you to check out this week down in the description. Also, I don't know if you realize this, but right here on Adorama TV, we've been having some webinars. The first one to kick it off was Lindsay Adler. She did how to time to strategize, like how to get yourself in gear for when the world starts up again. And she also did a live Q&A, so she fielded all your questions from a chat room. Next up will be Vanessa Joy. She's gonna be going live on April 2nd at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to check out that one. I know I'll be in the chat for that one. I'm always in the chat for the Adorama Lives. I mean, why wouldn't I be? These are some really cool series that we're doing. There's a lot of hosts lined up and creators in general to do webinars during this time. So not only check out Adorama TV for the webinars, but remember, stay focused on Facebook, Adorama's Facebook rather, at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and there'll be live streams going on pretty much daily. So there's a lot of resources coming your way, a lot of ways to stay connected, have the conversation keep going. And another way to keep it going, if you're a gamer, check it out, our Twitch channel. Yep. twitch.tv/AdoramaXP. We've been going live, giving you the gaming news, what's going on in the industry, showing you some new games that are out there, some games that are free right now. So if you needed something to keep your brain and hand busy, or if you have kids that you want to get them tuned into something because you're working from home, maybe you can get them on some games that are affordable and free right now. Also, this Sunday, we are going to be having a Tekken tournament for a charity, as well as get some prizes going thanks to Team Spooky. So check Team Spooky out on Twitch, and he'll be running a Tekken tournament for us to get for a good cause, really. So check that out if you're into fighting games. He runs some of the best competitions I've ever seen. And if you're not, it's still a good cause. Maybe you can check it out. The Twitch has been pretty rocking lately, if I do say so myself. All right, that's going to do it for me. I've been getting a lot of questions about this setup and how I have it going, because a lot of people are trying to do live streams on their own, create videos on their own. And just so you're aware, I'm going to do a shameless plug right here. You can check out my YouTube channel. I broke down a few things in a few videos. Pretty much how to use your camera as a webcam, how to do some better lighting. I also showed you guys how to use the HD60S with a Mac if you're trying to get an HDMI feed in as well as to a monitor, get your camera to work with an HD60S, or even find devices that can do video capture for things like this, and even the lighting, right? I feel like I went through like every gel that I have. I figured I'd give you guys like a nice, like, I don't know, autumn sunrise or something. Oh, you like it? It's Autumn Sunrise. You know what movie that's from? Write me down below if you know what that's from. But also write me down below with your social. I want to know your Instagrams. I want to stay in touch with all this stuff. We got to stay connected and tight. Not to mention, let me know what you're doing. What other projects you're working on? What are you doing to keep yourself busy? Get your mind off of what's going on right now. Keep productive, making sure you're making the most of this time while we have it. That's the question of the week. I want to know what you guys are up to. Use the hashtag #CreateNoMatterWhat. Stay tuned to Adorama's Facebook every day, pretty much at 1 p.m. for a live stream. And don't forget the Tekken tournament on Sunday on Adorama's Twitch. You can hear all these things I'm just listing off because Adorama is for real about to create no matter what. Just because we can't all be in the same room doesn't mean we're stopping anytime soon. I for sure am not. In fact, my YouTube channel is pretty much what I've been doing to keep myself busy and productive so that I can build something for when this is all over. We can all hit the ground running. We're going to stretch our legs together. I promise you on that. We're going to get through this. I know it's grim right now. Take advantage of those free software trials and the discounts that are going out there from Adobe, Affinity, Final Cut Pro. There's so many things happening right now that you should not just go, oh, this is, you know, really hurting me right now, but instead go, what else is out there? What are my alternatives? What can I change right now to get me out from under this rock? A lot of people are making calls to a lot of subscription services to ease up on the fees, or maybe defer some things, or maybe even get extensions on some stuff. So hang tight. We hear you. We're there with you, and you're not alone in this. So create no matter what, guys. Boom. Look at that. Create no matter what. So I'm putting a graphic right here. It's pretty cool. All right. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. Hit like, write me down in the comments below, share this video around. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're new to this channel, hit the bell so that you're notified of when new things come out, especially the webinars. Come on, people. All right. This is the longest ending ever. I'm out of here. Bye. Peace.